What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator 2021 with me, the Virtual Mechanic. We are back on the Police DLC, or should I say still on the Police DLC, and today we're going to try and get hold of this beautiful Bolt Ranger. It's looking pretty cool. I do like this one, a bigger truck. We're going to be doing the same as we did last time, which is taking it down the drag strip once we finish with it. I do think these wheels are going to need some ET or to be extra wide because they are tucked in the arches there. Quite deep, but it looks cool anyway. It's already in a police livery, and I think we've got police lights and stuff to go with it. They're just not on it right now. So let's get this beast purchased. Let's get ready to strip it down, tune it back up, get it onto the dyno, and then get it down the drag strip. But before we do any of that, I need to buy this beast, get it back to the garage, and get it cleaned up. She's all clean and back on the lifter, oil drained and things like that. Now we need to figure out what's missing from this little beast. I say little, this is not little in any way, shape or form. And it does have a lot of rust to sort out as well. So let's get on with it. Open up the hood. Let's start in with the engine bay. Get onto the engine maybe. And we're going to see what's missing. And absolutely, have we got nothing missing? This is fantastic. This never happens, or at least very rarely happens. I can't see anything missing. We've got all of our water containers just here, or liquid containers should I say. We've already drained the oil. We've got the drive shaft. We've got all of the exhaust. We've got all the front suspension, including inner and outer tie rods and all the bushings. This is actually great. This never happens. I know a lot of it still needs to be replaced anyway because you can't repair it, but it's good to have a fully built, ready to go car. So everything is just a like swap if needed. But there we go, all the bushings, fuel tank, fuel pump, all the exhaust, everything like that is all in there for this beautiful vehicle. We need to go back to the front though, because before we get anything else done, such as stripping everything out, we need to drain the liquids. To do that, right click, additional tools, drain tool, and then just click and hold on the container. It'll drain all the liquids out. It is nice and simple. So there we go. I'm going to crack on, get all of this drained, get all of the engine and suspension bay drained, especially now knowing our truck is complete, which is fantastic. We'll get all of that done and come back and time it to tackle the bodywork for this beast. Get it back into the paint shop, get a lovely livery on it. I know it's got one already, but we might go for one of the other ones. That's everything for the Bolt Ranger, repaired, replaced, or upgraded mechanically. That is, we still need to sort all of this bodywork out. So let's start stripping it off. Out you come, out you come. We've got fenders there. Side skirts aren't a piece. Obviously, door and window combination. Missing window up there. Rear bumper is a piece. Tail lights are a split piece, which I quite like. Trunk, out you come. License plate and window. We do have a window on this side. Nothing down there. Out you come, out you come. Off with the fender, and that should be everything off of this little beast. Just a tiny wee bit of interior. Not the actual interior, but I am going to be pitting the interior as it is back in. I may pit my own steering wheel on this one, but let's have a look. That is everything, because we're down to the bare frame. That's what we like to see. Absolutely nothing in this list whatsoever. There we go. That is what we like. Now, I didn't introduce at the beginning, but at the auction, we paid for the truck. 16,172. Obviously, we've stripped it all off, so there's nothing to be made from this vehicle at the moment. But we'll see if our make some profit on our buy price a little bit later on. Quite expensive on that one, but there we go. And the frame is at 38%. So welding of the frame today, I'm going to say... I'm going to go 1,000. I feel like 1,000 is going to be it. 750. I still can't quite get it right, but there we go. I'm going to go repair the body panels I can repair, and we'll get ready to get this beast all back together. We'll buy what we need to buy, sort all the interior out, and then we'll slap it all back on and get this lovely truck into the paint shop, ready to look like a police car. I've got everything ready to go back on our truck, but I've made another mistake. Remember in the last video where I called myself an idiot like 3 times? It's happened again, not quite the same way and not quite as bad, but for some reason, stupid me bought the standard truck rather than the police truck. But luckily, we got the quality of life mod, so I'm just going to tap this one over, and it should go into the police version. There we go, that's what we like to see. I do think we need to get it back up in the air, though. Up you go. Just a little bit. Thank you very much. And let's get on at getting this beast back together. That's better. I can see all of this extra stuff now. That's what we like to see. Let's start at the back then. A rear bumper is just the rear bumper. The trunk, we obviously managed to save some of these pieces, but we did have to buy new lights and windows. So there we go. And I think one of the doors maybe, but we'll crack on. In with the window, on with our blank license plate. Let's get all of this in and back on, and then we can get the extra parts back on. That was a new door there. On you go with the window, and you go there, and on with our mirror. Repaired. Front panel, front fender, that was repaired as well. And then we did manage to repair the hood and the front bumper. Obviously, we did need lights, and obviously we had to buy all of these extra bits as well, but we'll get to them in a second. Round the other side, in with the windshield, in with the door, in with the other door, mirror and window, and that's all the basics done. That's all the stuff I took off the truck. Now let's get on. We've got our big old window grate there to stop anything smashing through our front windscreen and affecting us as drivers. Car part 2 is our little searchlights on the side. Then we've got car part 3 on top, which is our lovely light bar, and then on the front, car part 1 with our big ram bar with the lights in it. Oh, and our cheeky little blank license plate. There we go. No longer an idiot because it doesn't matter. We got it all back together. We do need to sort the interior out, so let's get on with that. As I said, I was keeping it as it is. I did try my steering wheel. Yeah, it doesn't fit. Sometimes it doesn't fit. I like that off-center seating position, though. So I'll show you my steering wheel that really doesn't fit. We go into normal mode. Gonna open the door. Well, you can already see it, but we'll go into camera mode anyway, just to get a bit better clear understanding of why I didn't use my steering wheel. Yeah, that's not quite going to cut it today, I'm afraid. So out you come, and we'll go back in with the steering wheel it wanted, which is steering wheel 10 on there, and I'm going to sell that other one a bit later on. But there we go. That should be everything. Let's double check it. 100%, 100%, 100%. That is what we like. And let's get this beast into the paint shop and decide if we're going to stick with this police livery or go with one of the options. In the paint shop then with the Bolt Ranger. It is looking good. I do like this as a big old truck, but let's see what options we've got. I know we've already checked them out once already, but I need to just refresh myself. So in slot number 1 is the hashed livery on the police side there, looking pretty cool. Slot number 2 I think is the sheriff. Oh no, slot number 2 is the interceptor, which actually is pretty fitting considering we're going onto the drag strip today, so we will need something quick, and an interceptor does sort of fit that description. Next up is the sheriff one. We did display this one when we when we showed them all off at the beginning, but I think I don't think I'm going to go for that one. I think it's going to be the interceptor, or do we go for the New York style one, as I like to call it? Actually, this is pretty cool. No, I think I'm going to go for, an interceptor wouldn't come with a cage on it, would it? Maybe we go for the old blue and white. I do quite like that. It is quite nice. I think that's what we're going to go for. I am going to try and match this blue, though. Let's see if we can do it live. Struggle, definitely. But if we go across, that's a bit too in the blue. So let's bring that down to 210. That's probably not far off. Maybe a little bit darker. It's hard to do this sometimes. Let's bring the brightness down to around 80. That could be it. It's so hard to tell sometimes. I think that's about as close as I'm going to get it at a quick glance. 210, 180. I think it's about right. I think that's going to be close enough. That's the extra blue we're going to use. We're obviously going to do blue, white, and probably a splash of black in there for good measure. But 210, 180 is what we're going. But I don't want that on the body, or sorry, in the engine bay, as you can see through there. I don't want a bright blue engine bay. I do want that to be white. So, wrong way. I'm going to do that. And put that up to a bright white as well. 210, 180 is what we had. But what we can do is we can do that for the bolts. Do we do them all? Let's do not rims. 210. Make sure we get all of this about right. 210, 180 on there. Let's get this beast painted in its livery with its bolts done. That's, I think, what we're going to go for. It is looking cool. I do like the shields on this, the CMS PD. I think it looks absolutely awesome. I do like the details they put in with the liveries. I think some of them are a little plain, but these ones with the shields on and stuff, they all look fantastic. So open up that engine bay. I just want to quickly stuff one thing in here so we can check the bolt color. If I can press it, on you go, and on you go on top. And it should be some lovely blue bolts. Are they going to be a bit too dark? That is the question. If we nip over to here, they are a little bit too dark. I might make them just a little bit brighter. Just for the screws. Just for the screws. So we're going to give that a bash. Back into paint car. I want to stick on my gloss white there. I want to put on the New York livery. New York style livery, and then I want to bring these up a little bit, so we'll go up to 90. We'll see how that works. On you go. Open you back up again. We'll do one more check. If it needs another adjustment, I'll just do it off camera and we can see my work a little bit later on. So there's the blue. It's still a bit dark, isn't it? But I think it'll be maybe a little bit bright. Maybe we bring it up to 100% brightness for the bolts. It's still a little bit dark, but it could be the shadow in there. I think I'm going to do one more, bring it up to 100% brightness for the bolts, but I've got to remember to move it back down to 80 if I'm painting any parts on the car. But there we go. That's the livery we're going to go for. I'm not going to do anything with this interior because it all matches quite well. If you look at the patterns and stuff on there, it's all quite nicely matched in. It's all blended well together. So I'm probably going to leave all of the interior on this one, and we're just going to do a shiny engine bay and maybe something with the suspension. We shall see. Not too long for you to wait now because it'll literally be the next cut and it will all be painted and ready to go. But for me, I've got a little bit of work ahead of me, getting everything painted and looking fantastic, getting this beast back onto the lifter and getting it all back together. That beautiful Bolt Ranger is all finished, but we will come back to that one in a second. Don't forget to head over and check out my merch shop, vm-shop.fourthwall.com. We got plenty of merch on there, all the stuff that you can see on there, plus our lovely Gen 1 retro car t-shirt. I've shown it off a few times. I'll put it on screen as well, plus a load of Car Mechanic Simulator merch as well. And it's free delivery on all orders, $75 or more. A little bit too high there into the light, but it is what it is. Free delivery on all orders, $75 or more, and it will tell you on the site, whichever currency you are in, how much you'll need to spend to get that free delivery. So head over now to vm-shop.fourthwall.com and treat yourself to something nice and help support me, your favourite, maybe, YouTuber, the Virtual Mechanic. Let's get back to this beautiful Bolt Ranger. Well, there we go, the beautiful Bolt Ranger, all finished. You saw it a little bit more completed just a second ago, but we're going to crack on and get this all finished now. Let's talk about the livery. Nothing has changed since you last saw it. Everything on the outside of this car or truck is as it was. I didn't do anything to the interior, as I said I wouldn't. It's all quite closely colour matched. I think it looks pretty good in there, so we're going to leave it as it is. Plus, you've got all that wood on the interior as well, which looks fantastic. But let's get on and talk about the suspension. At the rear here, you've got a beautiful aluminium. Yeah, there's an I between the U and M on the rear cross member, on all of the exhaust and the drive shaft as well. Not completely on the cross member. You've got a bit of white stuffed in there and a little bit of black on the back with the blue bolts. And then black on all of the connecting arms and the suspension stuff just round here with blue springs and all the bushings in a lovely blue that matches almost perfectly with the bolts. So I think I did a fantastic job. Matching the colour on the inside of the car, whether it actually represents the outside of the car or not is a different story. But I like all of that. I think it all looks pretty good. If we make our way up to the front somehow using some of the straight piped exhaust, we got rid of the catalytic converter and the resonator there. So it's all been deleted off. It's now effectively a straight pipe. But for the front, Aluminium on the cross section again, or cross member. Lovely blue bushings, black on the supporting arms and the springs just there. And it's all looking pretty nice. And then we jump up to the engine and engine bay. Now the engine itself is aluminium, white, blue, and a few splashes of black just for the good measure. But all the bolts in there are matching in perfectly. I really have done a great job with that today, patting myself on the back just a little bit, but I don't normally get it quite that good. Lots of aluminium on there, including all the exhaust and stuff. I think it looks pretty awesome. But if we jump up to the top and have a look at the engine bay from above, a lot of the accessories in there are all blacked out just to sort of hide them, blend them in a little bit more. The only one I'm not overly fond of how it turned out is the brake booster, or the servo, depending on whatever you want to call it. But apart from that, I think everything else in here looks fantastic. I am very pleased with how all of this turned out. But we need to get on and finish this off. So let's get on and talk about the rims. I've gone for the rim 37 today. It already looks like a standard American New York police car. I have been doing a bit of research as I went. But we went for the rim 37. I haven't painted them at all. They are in their natural finish colour, and it is pretty perfect. I'm not going to lie. I would have liked to change the chrome plating to a bit of aluminium, get it to go with the rest of the car, but was happy with how it is. Now, I did say at the beginning that I was probably going to need a bit of ET to bring those wheels out. 60 ET on all four corners to bring those wheels out to match in, but the rest of it's pretty good. I went for some big old rims, 24 inches on there with a 295 width and a 40 profile on there, but because of the size of the rim, it's a big old profile. Let's put it on and have a look. As you can see, look at the chunk of that profile on there. Absolutely massive. Get these bolted up and get their chrome covers on, and they're looking so good, like police car rims, or at least American police car rims anyway, or at least New York's. But as you can see, I could have brought them out a little bit further realistically, but they are quite close to the limit there. I was quite happy with how I got them. Go down to the back, he says. There we go. It is exactly the same size. 24-inch rim, 60 ET, 295 width, and a 40 profile on there again. And we'll get you bolted up, and then we'll have a sort of quick look. You can see just, again, it could have potentially brought them out a little bit further, but I think the next stage up might have been a bit too far, but I think it looks pretty good. They are very big and chunky on this vehicle, and I don't know if that quite suits it. Maybe gone down a size would have been perfect, but I'm happy with them. I think they look pretty good. So let's get these on all the way around, so it doesn't matter. They're all the same. So you can put any wheel on any place. This is the wheel size. I wouldn't necessarily recommend the size, but the ET to bring the rims out, because they are very, very far tucked in at the beginning when you first pick up this vehicle, and I think that looks so much better. And there we go. That's it, pretty much done. We've done no window tinting on this one, no light tinting or anything, because it is a police car, just leaving it as it is. The one last thing we have got to do, though, is our personalised plates. So let's get on with that. And I just went for something simple, CMS PD 532. Because that's the car number. I think that's pretty fitting for this one. Also, I did have a question. Why is there a license plate cut out down here and yet the license plate's on the door? Or the trunk? That's weird. Is it weird? Or is that just me that thinks that's weird? But anyway, we'll carry on around, get this front plate swapped over, and then we can get this beautiful Bolt Ranger all finished and ready to take its runs down the drag strip. There we go. I'm going to top up the liquids. We'll get it outside in the sun, have a nice look at it, and then we'll get it onto the dyno and see what sort of power the Bolt Ranger is making. Well, there she is, all finished, looking fantastic as we sneak behind the caddy. I love that. I think the livery on it looks fantastic. Maybe a bit too chunky on their massive reels with the slick tyres on them rather than some off-road beasts. But apart from that, I just added the trunk to my shopping list. Apart from that, it's pretty good. I was about to say the exhaust clips through there, but there is some cutouts, so it doesn't. So that's looking pretty good on there. And I do think this is a good looking truck. It is a beautiful looking truck. We get the doors open properly out here. You can fully see all of the wood on the interior in there. And I do love a bit of wood on the interior. Not in the back, though. But there we go. It's still looking fantastic nonetheless. Let's jump inside, get this beast started. Oh, the interior does look good when you're sat here. You can sort of see it. It does feel good. But anyway, let's get it started, see what she sounds like. We've all heard the V8 before. We'll just give it some gas quickly. Not much over rev on there. It seems to be accelerating perfectly. Maybe that'll be good for its run on the drag strip. See if we can beat the Frisione with a 9.986. I don't know if we'll be able to quite do that, but if we can beat that's placed on the speeder board, I'll be very happy with this beautiful Bolt Ranger and its stunning engine. I do think it looks absolutely fantastic in there. But anyway, let's get this onto the dyno, see what its horsepower is, what its drag rating will be, and then it's onto the drag strip. Let's get this beast dynoed then and see how much horsepower we have squeezed from that V8 double overhead cam AXK engine. 364 base horsepower. How much have we added with all of our tuning and performance parts today? What will it be? A gain of 563 horsepower, 155%, an engine and a half on top of what was already there. That is what we like to see. 926 total horsepower. Drag rating's a little low at A451, but we're still in A class, so still up at that top end, which will give us a chance to beat the 9.986 from the Frisione, but I highly doubt it. Let's have a look at the gearbox tune for today. Almost went the wrong way there. That's what we've gone for, and I have adjusted every slider apart from the top one. So all of these have been adjusted this way just a tad, just to give it a little bit of a better run. And this has been moved from 3.7 to 4 upwards a little bit there. And I think that's about the best we're going to get out of it. If I spent another hour or so on it, maybe we could squeeze a little bit more, but I don't think we're going to get much more from it. We do, of course, have a fully tuned Stage 3 ECU, giving us 16% additional tuning. And if you don't know how to do that, I don't know why. If you ever watch one of my videos, there is a link up here to go and see how to perfectly easily tune it every time. There's also a link in the description below. It's a short video, less than 60 seconds long. And there is another one in the description for the carburetors if you need to learn how to do them as well. But enough of that. Let's get our Bolt Ranger on to the drag strip and see if we can beat the Frisione, and also see if we can keep up with some of the other cars. We're on the drag strip with the Bolt Ranger, and they don't look good in beige. All of the cars from this DLC have come with their image, whatever you want to call that, thumbnail image, in a beige colour, and they just look terrible. It looks better in the police livery, if we're being honest. But anyway, let's get on with it. King of the Sands, quarter of a mile, and of course, we are just about in A class, so we've got to enter that one and pay our 1,000 entry fee, and this won't be included in the cost breakdown. This is a separate entity. Who have we got today, then? No one that I recognise. Jackal's up there in the Ford Mustang Shelby Super Snake. Pretty wild on that one. If I've missed anybody's name, I do apologise. I think Fritz is a friend there with the Sportback Liberty Walk Audi RS7. And we've also got K3 down here in the Mustang RTRC. I don't know which one that is. But anyway, our first race is against a Lamborghini Huracan Performante, which means there's a strong chance we'll be out after the first race. Let's go find out if that is the case. Let's get on with it against the Performante. Well, rolling up to the start line, let's just have a look. You can't really see it. There's a big pillar in the way, but there is a Lamborghini next to us, and it's quite nice being this high up. If it wasn't for that big pillar, you'd actually be able to see more of the car than we usually can. But it is our Bolt Ranger. Bolt Ranger? Yep, Bolt Ranger. I keep trying to call it a Ford, I'll be honest with you. Is our Bolt Ranger going to be able to beat a Lamborghini to the quarter of a mile? Realistically, no, but let's see if it can. Come on, you beautiful little beast. Let's go. Are we going to be out in our first race? Into second, into third. Where's the Lamborghini? Oh, it is neck and neck. Okay, now we're pulling away. Into fourth, and there we go. Across the line, absolutely smashed the Lamborghini in the Bolt Ranger. 11.024 seconds at 211 kilometers an hour. Not beating the Frisione by over a second, and not even close to its top speed either. But we smashed the Lamborghini Huracan. That has genuinely surprised me. We actually had quite a bad start in comparison. About half the time separates us there, but we pulled it back, started pulling it back, pulled it back. We're already in the lead sort of by this point, and then absolutely smashed it. First race down. Let's get into round two. So, who's still with us then? K3 still in there in the RTRC Ford Mustang, but he's got a Super Snake to go up against. Sadly, Jackal lost out to the Lit Edition RS5, and our next race is against the Chevrolet Luminaire stock car, the Hendrick Motorsports Edition. Again, another car that should be absolutely wild on power, and we should have absolutely no chance of beating. But let's go and find out. Well, we've already made it further than I thought we would. because we beat the Lamborghini in the first race, and we can't even see this Chevrolet Luminaire stock car because there is well and truly a pillar in the way. I can just about see that front bumper, so let's not bother looking at that anymore. Let's just go, and come on, Bolt Ranger, off the line into second. I can't see the car pulling away into third. Oh, we are pulling away. We're doing well. This Ranger is good, apparently very good, and across the line at round 2 we made it into the semi-finals. 11.050, roughly the same as our first run, so not too shabby there. Still with the same top speed, and we definitely got a much better launch that time, but we were in the lead all the way throughout that. I can't believe this car is still winning. I'm actually mind blown by that. But anyway, let's get into the semi-final and see if we can make it into the final race. So now we are up against K3 in the Ford Mustang RTRC. Still in with us, we've got the Nissan GTR Benz Supra Edition, not Supra, and the McLaren P11 MP4 12C Spider up the top there. If we make it to the final, who do we think we'd be up against? I reckon it's probably going to be the McLaren, but they're both very fast cars, so it could be either. But before we get there, we've got to beat K3 in the RTRC. The Ford Mustang RTRC is the modern one. I didn't actually know that. I suppose I could have clicked on it and had a look. I can just about see it's the modern one from there, and also from the shot at the beginning as we pull up to the drag strip. I don't even know. But can we beat it in the quarter of a mile? Let's go. Come on, Ford Ranger, Bolt Ranger. Keep getting that mixed up. It's a Bolt, not a Ford. But anyway, into third. Where are we? Oh, we're pulling away. This car is wild. And then I guess it's the category we're in the class, but this is doing very, very well. All thanks to my Gearbox tune. I'm putting it down to that one anyway. 11.045 seconds. I'm not sure if that's the fastest. I haven't been writing anything down because I haven't got a notebook at the moment because I've filled it all up. But anyway, still pretty good. Not the greatest start there ever, but we absolutely smashed it. Still going in the Bolt Ranger. We've made it to the final. Will we be up against the McLaren or the GTR? So we've made it to the final, and it is the Nissan GTR Benz Supra Edition against the Bolt Ranger Police Edition. And we haven't struggled. I thought we'd struggle. I mean, we had a Huracan as our first race, a Chevrolet stock car as our second race, and the RTRC Ford Mustang as our third race. And so far, the Bolt Ranger Police is proving itself as a suitable interceptor police car because it is very, very fast, although we put the New York livery on it instead. But there we go. Let's get on to the final race and see if we can win it. It's the final drag race. Doo-doo-doo. That's enough of that before we get demonetized for anything. Can't see the car again, which is a bit of a shame because that GTR is pretty cool. But let's get on with the race and see if we can beat it. It might be cooler than ours, but is it faster? Come on, you beautiful Bolt Ranger. Last race of the day. Into second. Come on, you little beast. Into third. Oh, and we are beating the GTR as well. This police car is wild in this category of race. Absolutely smashed it. Well and truly won. Not even our best run of the day. 11.133. I believe that's generally our worst run of the day. Still with the same at top speed though. We got one good launch out of the 4, but we still managed to win every race, which is absolutely fantastic. Let's go collect our winnings and get the beautiful Bolt Ranger back to the garage and see if we could sell it on for a nice little profit. Well, there it is, the 11,250. Again, this won't be included in our cost breakdown. It's not really a full cost breakdown anymore. I've shortened it, just what we spent on the car and what we can sell it for. This is just bonus money for good measure. So we've made 10,250 before we start, but I won't be adding that to the breakdown. But anyway, back to the garage. Just before we end today's video, do you want access to some custom configs and liveries for Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, like the ones currently displayed across your screen? Then hit the join button below and become a member of the VM Garage Club for £2.99 a month, where you get access to the Discord where I share all of these configs and liveries for you to enjoy. They're all there. You can grab them yourselves, load them into your game, and have some fun. You also get loyalty badges and emojis over... Emojis? That sounded very bougie, didn't it? And emojis over on YouTube, as well as, obviously, priority response to comments on there. And you do get one-day access to all of my main videos, which is pretty good. But if you can't afford £2.99 a month, which I completely understand, I do have a video fan level where you just get access to the videos one day early or the day before they're released. Sometimes a little bit earlier, and that one's only 99p a month. Thank you to all of the current members. You're all absolute legends in my book, and I appreciate every single one of you. But if you could support me and can afford to do just that little bit more than watching and liking, then hit that join button below. Thank you very much to all my channel members. You're all absolute legends. Let's get back to the Bolt Ranger. Well, there we are then, all finished with the Bolt Ranger from the Police DLC, managing the quarter of a mile in 11.024 seconds, sadly not beating the Marina Frizione with a 9.986 seconds. 211 kilometers an hour for the Bolt Ranger, which is not too shabby, not the best, but it did win its drag competition, so I'm still pleased with it in that regards. We'll get on to the costs now though. I bought the car for 16,172 and we spent 88,449 tuning it, upgrading it, painting it, making it look how it looks today, especially with them big chunky wheels and those perfectly matched rims on there, which I'm very proud of. Paying our total spend at 104,621 that was, because I mumbled a bit there, but the sale price is 144,252, leaving us with a profit of 39,631 from our beautiful Bolt Ranger. Very, very pleased with that one. Another great build from the Police DLC. We've got the rest of them to go. We've got a many few videos ahead of us, so we're going to try and pump them out if and when I can. We might skip the old car dealer simulator video, depending on if they've got updates and things like that. I'll still be doing my update videos for them on the weekend, so you don't have to worry about that. But again, this weekend coming, there will be one. The following weekend, there won't be because I'm away, but I'll do a catch-up one to the next weekend of them. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think of the Police DLC so far in the comments below. Let me know if you like this build with a cheeky little like, or if you didn't like it with a dislike. Either or, I'm happy either way. But anyway, it's been a pleasure. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and I hope you have a beautiful week, whatever it is you're getting up to. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.